Yes, my people. Hope you are all doing well and welcome back to the channel. We're back live again, talking transfers in the remaining, what is it, day and a half to go now. So yeah, we're going to be going through all the Liverpool updates for you. Ones from last night. David Ornstein has also provided us a big update. We're going to be going through that article of what he has had to say regarding the Alexander Isak situation. I'm running a poll. Will Liverpool sign Isak before the window? 89% said yes. So far, none. And 50-50 is also an option as well. People, as you already know, we always aim for 50 likes on these streams. So yeah, let's try and get to 50 likes. We've got Fabrizio Romano updates, David Ornstein updates, Craig Hope updates. We are going to be live for the next about hour or so. So make sure you're hitting the likes. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. And now let's get into the Romano updates. So let's have a listen to what he had to say about Alexander Isak. Now I want to put you
in Germany that tomorrow they will see how to handle this situation. Ready to go, travel and sign. But this deal depends on Newcastle. Liverpool, the bid is there for Marc Guehi, £35 million plus 10% sell-on clause. It's not a problem to reach an agreement with Palace. From what I'm hearing, Liverpool and Palace will reach an agreement for Marc Guehi. So club to club is not a problem, and player side is not a problem. He agreed on terms. Don't trust all the reports saying that they didn't agree. Marc Guehi has agreed terms. He's ready. The contract is ready. The player is ready to go, travel and sign. But this deal depends on Newcastle. Newcastle have to decide internally. There is a chairman, Steve Parish, who has in front of his table the numbers from Liverpool, £35 million plus 10% sell clause for a player who's out of contract next year and is not extending the contract. So basically, Steve Parish now is on one side, keep your leader, keep your player, Marc Guehi, and obviously lose him on a free next summer, so don't get any money, but you still have Marc Guehi for this season. On the other side, he has the money from Liverpool. So take the money and find the replacement. So the question is, if Palace find the right replacement and give the green light, Marc Guehi will travel because the personal terms are done. Guehi wants to go to Liverpool, and if Guehi is not going to Liverpool today, Liverpool will be ready for 2026. So this is the story around Marc Guehi. If Newcastle call the deal, if Crystal Palace call, the deal will get done immediately. Alexander Isak, guys, contacts again today. The deal as of tonight is not done, despite the reports we had in the last 24 hours. All sources involved from Liverpool, from Newcastle, from player side deny that the deal has been agreed today. So it's not about the game, it's not about Liverpool playing, it's not about Newcastle playing. It's not agreed as of today. But I can confirm that the optimism remains. We are entering into Sunday, and the optimism at Liverpool remains. Liverpool have not activated any other option among those who have been offered to Liverpool, because this week more than 3-4 players, important players, have been offered to Liverpool. Maybe we will talk about the behind the scenes one day, but really important players. This is not emergency solutions. And Liverpool keep saying that they are optimistic to find a solution and to get Alexander Isak. So the story for Isak remains absolutely on as of tonight. But done is not done. We are around 45 hours to the end of the window, and I think the respect for football fans is to tell you things as they are in this moment, not to do predictions. And in this moment, the deal is not done, but Liverpool sources maintain optimism to sign Alexander Isak. So Liverpool are still confident, and Liverpool want to make it happen. Alexander Isak has absolutely not changed his mind. He wants to go to Liverpool. So now let's wait for the two clubs, because obviously we're entering into crucial stages of this story. But the deal remains on. So let's follow the situation. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see if they can agree on a deal with Newcastle. But the deal remains on for Alexander Isak. I see there is a question.
So yeah, that's what he's had to say regarding Marc Guehi and Alexander Isak. We'll talk about Isak, and then what we'll do is we'll speak about Guehi. So obviously this is what he said, that Liverpool. What I found interesting about what he said was Liverpool sources remain optimistic to sign Alexander Isak, but Liverpool offered 3 to 4 important players this week, but they only want Isak. Who do you think those 3-4 players was? Who do you think those 3-4 players was? Chat, by the way, 54 of you in the building. We're on the road to 50 likes in this stream. So we're already on 6 likes away from 20. So if you can kindly hit that like button and make sure you are also subscribing to the channel. Now, who do you think those 3-4 players was? I'm trying to think of important players. I reckon one of them was probably Malik Fofana. I reckon one of them was maybe a Rodrigo, potentially. I think, who else could be in the mix? To be honest, I don't really know, because we've not really been linked to that many attackers other than Malik Fofana, Rodrigo. We've had a bit of Mateta links, but we've seen how Palace, how they're just not willing to sell any of their players. So I don't think it'd be Mateta. I'm really intrigued to see who those players was. Barcola, yes. Barcola, Rogers, yeah. I think they're some of the names that definitely would have been on the hit list in terms of they could be the potential players to, come in. But we've got updates from David Ornstein, and then we're going to listen to what Craig Hope has had to say. I thought this was interesting. This is what David Ornstein has literally just said on Sky Sports this morning. This is what he has had to say regarding the situation. New. David Ornstein on Sky Sports. I don't think Liverpool are in sort of activity doing much at the moment around Alexander Isak's situation, because they will have felt the 110 mil offer was the place of pretty much they were prepared to go. We know previously they had indicated a willingness to do a deal around 120, so of course they will be doing some wiggle room on their part. But I don't necessarily see them wanting to go much as higher than that. Newcastle have been completely clear in their stance that they don't want to intend to sell this summer, and that they would expect something around 150 million. Let's see if that proves to be the case by the end of the window. Maybe they stick to their guns, or maybe there is some compromise that this is to be reached. I'm not sure about this notion of a new biz coming in. Maybe Liverpool sit back and see if Newcastle come to them and open the door, because Newcastle United have already committed to a significant amount of money. It's clear his intent on making Liverpool move, and it seems experts to make it happen before the deadline. It feels an increasing expectation across the industry, but that doesn't count for that much that he will go. He's basically done the 50-50 PR thing, because we all know Liverpool aren't going to go above 130 million. We all know Liverpool aren't going to pay 150 million. We all know this. So for me, that's not really any news. For me, David Ornstein has basically gathered what everyone else has been saying and just put it all into one big article, really. That's kind of what he said, chat. That's basically what he's effectively saying. Do you know what I mean? That is effectively, what he is saying. I'm going to get into your lots of comments in just a second. 62 of you in the building already, man. And we've only been live for 10 minutes. Big up my community, man, every single damn time. every single time. We're 7 subscribers away from now 2,000. We're 27 subs from 2.3k. So we're going to try and push to hit that before the end of the transfer market. Now, let's listen to what Craig Hope has had to say regarding Alexander Isak. No one cares about ads. Like, what are we doing here? Oh my days, I've already been to flipping Lidl. I went yesterday. Oh god. Big up Lidl though. What? Oh my god, I don't even use Windows, I use MacBooks. Why are you showing me this?
From here inside Elland Road. Now I'm going to start this one, unbelievably, talking about football. Now that is a surprise given the match.
Okay, let's not listen. No one cares about that.
Watched in the final third. And then it looks on 65 balls, third balls, all of those. But they're not that great. They haven't got quality. They've done better in the previous 2 matches. It's a situation. He puts on the cape at St James's Park and he rides to the rescue, the White Knight, and he was that on Monday night. But against Aston Villa away and Leeds away, when, and if anything, you are worried that Leeds were going to nick something from a set. Various claims and counter claims. Now, there's my information coming into the match. The talks had not resumed. The
here we go.
The season, no striker, no goals really, and never did they really look like scoring. Now, okay, Alexander Isak and Liverpool and Newcastle and strikers. Where are we at now? Eddie Howe was asked for an update. Afterwards, they said that he didn't have one. But this is my information now, guys. And I know there's been a day of various claims and counter claims. Now, it was my information coming into the match. The talks had not resumed. There'd been no fresh offer from Liverpool, and that dialogue hadn't reopened. There was even suggestions from Merseyside that Liverpool might not even come back with a second offer, that they might be done for incoming business. I don't believe that for a second. Liverpool have not come this far to leave Alexander Isak high and dry, to abandon him now. He has fulfilled his end of the bargain with his behaviour, with his actions, with the course he has chosen to pursue this summer. Liverpool, I would be amazed, absolutely amazed now, based on how far Isak has gone, if they do not now return with an offer, especially not, as I think it would be a deal that would be quite easy to do. Newcastle have committed the money to Nick Voltemade. They haven't spent a club record near £70 million on the Germany striker to then keep Alexander Isak. That is my instinct and my information. Now, will they, if they have to, if Liverpool don't return, or if Liverpool return with an offer of £111 million, will they keep him? Well, yes, they might. There still is that chance. There still is the slim chance Liverpool don't return. But this is how I think it will play out, based on a summer's worth of information and based on what I've heard today. This is a summer-long strategy we're seeing from Liverpool. And for me, they've played it quite well. Now, they set the ball, I was going to say bar relatively low. 110 million is still a pretty high offer, but they set that at 110 million at the start of August. That was deliberate. That was a plot.
Hit the
and
like,
they've left it at 110 million in the 3 or 4 weeks since. When they do return, there's no point in the meantime bidding against themselves. So when they do return, the jumping off point was 110 million pound. Now, as I said, this is a summer-long strategy. They've also waited for Newcastle to commit money elsewhere, big money as well. Newcastle are also still pursuing that second striker. Liverpool now will believe that Isak is taken it to a point, the point of no return, perhaps, with Newcastle. That was certainly the mood music during the week on the back of that last-ditch attempt from the owners at Isak's Darris Hall house. Darris Hall. Yeah, was it Darris Hall house? I was right the first time. Was he living in a castle? Yeah, it was a house at Isak's Darris Hall house to persuade him to stay in, to play. That didn't work. So on the back of that, there has been that acceptance internally that it is best to move on. That has been there all summer to a degree. It's why they've pursued those targets. But Liverpool now, having left it at this point, with Newcastle having committed the money elsewhere, they're going to leave as small a window as possible for them in Newcastle to get the deal done. They don't want weeks worth of Newcastle having the opportunity to reject, because Newcastle guys now, I don't think they want to reject. I think they want to draw a line under that, and Liverpool will know as much. So they will come back, be that tomorrow night or Monday with an offer, and it could all be wrapped up pretty quickly, because it's got to be wrapped up quickly. And Newcastle will be left with a decision to make, is to do they accept the offer of what we believe will be somewhere in the region of £120 million. Can they push them to 130? Maybe. I've said in videos all summer the idea of 150 being that mark. I've never really thought that to be the case. The longer this window has gone on, I've always thought 130-ish would be the magic number. We'll see where we go on that. But do I expect Liverpool to return? Yes. Do I think Newcastle are open to the sale? Yes. Do I think we'll get a deal? Most likely. But there's still things to happen for this to happen. So that's where we are tonight. And all of this noise around it, that Liverpool might not come back and Newcastle are perfectly happy to reintegrate Alexander Isak, that's just posturing, I think, at this late stage, because it's the standoff. And both clubs want to leave themselves in as strong a position as possible entering the shootout. And that's what we've got in the remaining 48 hours. Okay, guys, so we arrive now at the merit stars. And in ascending order, one is going to go to Jacob Murphy. I thought he did well. He had Newcastle's 2 best efforts on goal, barring the Yasula chance I've already mentioned there. And I thought he was bright enough. Listen, I think I give him 6.5 out of 10 in the Mail on Sunday, Daily Mail Sport there. Report, link in the description below the line. But yeah, he was fine. 1 star. 2 star. Now, you might be a bit surprised at this. I think you'd be your...
Okay, chat. Okay. Right, we're going to come back to that. I'm going to dive into some of your lot's comments. See what you guys are having to say on the situation. Isak to Barca? No. Okay, mate, you're just... What, Pratt? Oh, yes, we are going to speak about this. We have got a lot to talk about, actually, in today's stream, actually. We've got the Gomez stuff to talk about. But I thought we'll talk about Isak first, get all that out of the way, and then we will talk on Marc Guehi and Joe Gomez situation. Less than 2 days to go. Reacts, you still confident? Yes. In what? In both deals? Yes, I'm still confident that both deals will be reached, because I feel like with Marc Guehi, like FABRIZIO Romano said, you know, according to sources, etc., that it looks like that's going to happen. Okay, so that's Guehi boxed off, done, right? I think you potentially see Guehi, here we go, potentially tonight. I think that Crystal Palace lineup team will be very telling as to what's going to happen there. I think then you come back to Isak. I think both, like Craig Hope said, both clubs know they need to strike a deal quickly. It can't be like, oh no, let's chat about this. No, both clubs will need to strike a deal quickly. So therefore, I do think there will be a lot of compromise, and I think the deal will ultimately still get done, in my opinion. Big up Benjamin in the house. Slap the likes and subscribe. Yeah, man. Hit those likes, people, man. 50 likes, and make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. Isak to Liverpool, believe. I'm in full belief, mate. Don't worry. Big up, bro. Big up, man. I hope you're well. I'm nervous now. Not long left. You think the bid will come? It's gotta be tonight. I think the bid could come with an hour to go on deadline day, and I still think the deal would get done, mainly due to the fact that both teams know. I think when you see that Isak bid go in, I think it will be very much simple as this. Liverpool have agreed to deal with Newcastle to sign Alexander Isak. I don't think Liverpool have launched a bid or anything like that. I think it will be 3 things. Liverpool are close to Alexander Isak deal. They've agreed. Here we go. Whatever. I think it'll be that very much straight away. You need to start moving. I'm going to star all the Gomez stuff and come back to the Gomez stuff. Big up Scraps, mate. Hope you well, man. Big up Curtis. Hope you well, mate. Big game today. Slap the likes. Yeah, man. Big game today. Yeah, I think Fabrizio will probably release one day who these 3 players was. Can't sell anyone else without bringing in numbers. Team is short. I agree. We're not selling. I don't think we should sell Joe Gomez, in my opinion. I actually want him to stay. Wissa released a statement about how he wants to leave. Can't wait to hear Jordan and Newcastle fans completely melt down. Well, that's the narrative, mate. That is the narrative. Where is it on the motorway, this offer? Who knows, but it's somewhere. They can't be helped. frame it like being big bad Liverpool are leaving it on purpose. All some of Liverpool have said they won't bid unless Newcastle walk him a bid. He's such a I'm getting tired. I think we're all getting tired of it, mate, to be honest. I think we're all very much getting tired of the deal. Without absolute commitment, we shouldn't be able to force Newcastle's hand. In my opinion, I gave a prediction about a week ago. I think it will get to the point where even if Newcastle don't open sale, Liverpool will bid. I do think how I see it going down is, in my opinion, watch out for that Crystal Palace game tonight. Watch out for that Crystal Palace game tonight. For me, what time does the window shut? Could anyone Google that? What time does the transfer window slam shut? Actually, let me have a look. What time does the transfer window close? It closes at 7 o'clock UK. And obviously the deal sheet can't be used before 5 o'clock and needs to be finalised before the transfer window closed. So basically, as long as we reach a deal, if we reach an agreement, I think you're allowed a bit of extra time in terms of getting like transferring all the papers and all that stuff across. So we've effectively got until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So we've got about less than a day and a half now, actually. Yeah, so we've got less than a day and a half. We've got about about 31 hours, 32 hours to get a deal done. Yeah, it's getting squeaky bum time now, lads. Yeah, 7 p.m. UK. Yeah. You know, the worst thing is I'm actually at work until 5 o'clock tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So hence why I'm going to do a morning stream tomorrow. It's probably at 6 o'clock. Probably go live until about 8. And then I only get 2 breaks tomorrow. So I could be sat there at work thinking, oh my God, I'll be signed to Isak. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't care. I've got a plan for how I'm going to check the news. Don't worry about that. I've got a plan of how I'm going to check the news. I'm not going to say it in case, one of my work colleagues or someone is watching, but I will be somehow finding out. I've got a game plan for that. Yeah, like and subscribe, people, man. Big up bonkers. 72 of you in the building. Let's try and get these likes up to 30, chat. And yeah, make sure you're also subscribing because we're so close to 3K now. We're 6 subs from 2.280. So 6 more subs of you. That would be heavily appreciated. Like you said, a bid can go in at 9:59 as long as all 3 agree it's done. Exactly. As long as you've all agreed a deal. Hence why I think last year, I can't remember what deal it was. I think it was Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea, where they agreed a deal in like the last hour. I think Chelsea agreed a deal with Enzo Fernandez. It was I know it was Chelsea. It was not. It was about 2 Januaries ago. They agreed a deal with like an hour to go. We did it with Fabio Carvalho. I remember we did it with Fabio Carvalho with like 2 hours to go. So I feel like when clubs know pressure's on, they get the deals done. I think we start hearing the news we want after the game later. I do think we hear news tonight. I do think we have to hear something tonight, in my opinion. I think if it gets to 11 o'clock, midnight tonight, with about 20 hours, 19, or no. If it gets to midnight tonight and there's no big news, at that point, there's less than 20 hours to go. It would be a slight concern. And at that point, do you even try and pivot to other attackers? I mean, there's no point. As you can see on the tweet, Liverpool were offered 3-4 important players and effectively they said no. So it is, guys, Isak or bust. It is Isak or bust, it's looking like. And yeah, it's getting exciting. It is getting exciting in terms of when is this, it is getting exciting. I've just seen this clip from Arsenal make a statement with the most cringiest video. I feel bad for Jesus, man. Like, some of the rubbish. I did see this from FABRIZIO Romano. So this is what Honest Slot said about transfers. Not that I know, probably there is a lot. You have to check FABRIZIO, and he mentioned all that. What to say? Thanks, Honest Slot. I hope you have a very good. I hope I will have very good news for you in the next 24 hours. Hey yo, Honest Slot versus FABRIZIO. You don't know. Is that what we're doing out here? But yeah, if you've not seen the Wissa statement, Wissa released a statement about Brentford. Let's take a read of what he's had to say. Oh no, sorry. Newcastle have exclusively improved on a 40 million plus 5 million verbal offer for Wissa this week, but Brentford delayed responding as they sought another striker. Wissa's statement comes off the back of a belief that Brentford are now holding back out for 60 million plus due to not finding an attacker. Oh God, it's getting annoying. It's really getting annoying. It really is getting to the point where it's just like, oh God, this is so jarring. But yeah, this is what Wissa's had to say. Yoane Wissa's statement on his desire to join Newcastle United immediately. Over the past few weeks, there has been increased speculation about my future at Brentford Football Club. As a result, I wanted to speak directly and honestly about exactly how things stand. Very much like Isak, I stayed silent. God, this is like Isak in it. But no. They both got the same agents or something. But with just hours remaining of the transfer window, I feel compelled to make it clear that I want to leave Brentford. I believe the club are utterly standing in my way of desiring a series of fair offers throughout the summer. I have always given 100% for Brentford since day one, since I signed back in 2021. I'm proud of what we have built together and never taken for the opportunity to play for the club for granted. Brentford fans will always have a special place in my heart, and I have always conducted myself professionally, both on and off the pitch. It has been a privilege to wear this shirt for 149 games and celebrate 49 goals. Early this summer, I held discussions with the club at senior management, including key directors and the new head coach. I made clear my intention to explore a new challenge. During these conversations, it was confirmed to me that my representatives that the club would not stand in my way. If a responsible offer was received, this was also put in writing. Based on this understanding, I sought to find a new club, keeping Brentford informed with full transparency at every step. Brentford received a formal offer from another Premier League club, and then I committed I wanted to join. I was under an impression from all my conversations with Brentford that were a mutual agreement in part ways. Yet, as the oh my God, how long is he going on for? Yet I make clear I have acted unprofessionally, nor do I wish to leave Brentford on bad terms. I have been transparent in my position throughout. I have continued to communicate openly with the club and conduct myself in a way that reflects my values, both as a footballer and a human being. I remain being open, hopeful that a fair, responsible resolution can be found before the window shuts. In the meantime, I must feel what I feel is the right for my career and my family, and insist that Brentford keep their word to let me join a new club at a fair price. I want to thank all the Brentford fans for their support and understanding during this difficult situation. Your energy and belief in me has always meant a great deal. This has never been about walking away from what is a fantastic football club. It's about being allowed to move forward with Brentford's blessing based on a repeated communicant made that I could leave for a new chapter this summer. Being made to stay beyond this summer will only tarnish 4 wonderful years at this incredible club, and so I ask Brentford owners and directors to now keep their word to let me leave in the final hours of the window. Bloody hell, he rams on a bit, didn't he? God, he can talk. Flipping hell, get him in the flipping court, because this guy can talk. He'll talk his way out. Nah, big up Wissa, man. I understand where he's coming from, because it's very much like the Alexander Isak situation. Big up to my boy Fozzy in the house, man. Hope you're well, my guy. If you're free, I can send you the link. 86 of you in the building, 34 likes. Let's try and get these up to 50 likes if possible, chat. It's been a good stream so far, but yeah, the Wissa situation is very interesting. You know, I think he might go still. I still think he might go. Like, my only thing is, I feel bad for him and I don't feel bad for him. Should he have put a release clause in there? Should he have a gentleman's agreement? Do you get what I'm saying? He probably should have done one of the two things, if I'm being truly honest. But, you know, then can you really... I don't know, it's a sticky one. It really is sticky. No, the waffler. Yeah, he's a waffler. But nah, I really want to know these 3-4 players, you know. Big up to Fuzzy. I sent you the link, my guy, anyway. I really want to know what these 3-4 players was. I'm just intrigued. I reckon it's Barcola, Rodrigo, Malik Fofana, and Rodgers. They're my 4 predictions. Maybe not Barcola, because in terms of offered, I don't think PSG want to offer them. So I feel like Rodrigo could be one by his agent, and I feel like Malik Fofana, because obviously the Lyon situation, and Rodgers because Newcastle, Aston Villa have to sell due to PSR and all that. For the price, was Nicholas Jackson. Well, if it was, thank God. For that price, I think Newcastle moved for Strand Larsen 4 years younger. It's setting up for the most dramatic deadline, though. Look, people might remember better deadline days than me, but this deadline day is going to be absolute madness. You might have a Premier League British transfer record on deadline day. We know the current one stands at what? It's technically Florian Wirtz. He's actually, technically, if all the add-ons are achieved, he's the British transfer record. But actually, as it stands, it's actually Caicedo by 1 million. Unless the Wirtz, add-ons are achieved, is Caicedo. But the fact that you might have genuinely, I reckon you're going to see 300 million spent on deadline day. If Liverpool are probably going to be spending, 160, Man City are going to bring in the likes of Donnarumma, etc. I think Man United will probably bring in a player or two, same for Tottenham. It's setting up for an absolute banging finale of deadline day. I'm actually excited. It's a shame I'm at work for the majority of it. But then, oh no. Next deadline day next year, I actually am going to buy a suit. And the plan was I tried to get it off work, but I could only have Friday or Monday off. And I picked Friday because obviously I had a load of house stuff going on. Yeah. Maybe I should have picked Monday, but then I could have done a massive deadline day stream. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, chat, we've got a special guest coming on the channel. Kindly, every single one of you, got 75 people watching, make sure you go over to one of my good friends. Big up to yourself, Fozzy, mate.
Hey, what's going on, bro? Good?
I'm fantastic, mate. Liverpool play today. It's going to be an absolute bomb of a final transfer deadline day tomorrow.
I know, bro. It's frustrating, isn't it? Really, because I'd rather have Isak through the door now rather than wait till the last day of the transfer window. I don't know. Something's just telling me it's all played out somehow, footy, for some reason, money reasons and all that stuff, for the player to come through the door like a dramatic ending to the transfer window. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Everybody will be tuned on. We're all gonna make streams at the same time. You know what I mean? That's what I'll keep thinking about this. I don't know what you guys think though in the chat and you.
I've got. There's a percent of me that this might not happen.
Oh, please don't. What you don't, man? Why? Why have we got that?
The thing is, I still think it happens, but I think we need to hear something tonight, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because
that I can take.
Because the thing is, I think the one positive with this whole Isak deal, it's not going to be like a long process when we do put in that bid. It should literally be Liverpool of agreement with Newcastle for however much Isak is going to be. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be Liverpool putting in a bid. Oh, let's wait. Yeah. It should simply be straight up agreement. Because are you getting slightly concerned, or are you still like, yep, nah, he's going to become a Liverpool player?
You know what, guys? Yeah, I do have my moments in my channel that I just say some silly things in it. It's part of the show, and it's part of what we do and all that stuff. To be honest, since Michael Edwards has been at Liverpool, even in his he's been at Liverpool for a long time. People don't know, he's been here. He's been at Liverpool before when he left. I mean, he was part of the analytic team back in the day, around 2012, something like that. 11. He was at the club that long. People don't know, but when he's been like in charge of the recruitment footy, he's always produced some good players, and he's always, even last day of the transfer, he's always got some players in. I'll be worried if Klopp was still here, because when Klopp is here, they don't make these kind of transfers, do they? Really, let's be honest. And we wait to the last day, and then nothing comes, or Arthur comes through the door, if you know what I mean, or someone like that. But I think these players are coming, bro. I'm looking at from a point of view with the Isak one is the guy has got no connections with anything that's Newcastle anymore. Have you noticed that? Like, he doesn't go to the barbecues, he doesn't train with them. I mean, he doesn't do nothing. There's no identity with him and Newcastle. And he keeps telling them, I don't want to be here anymore. I guarantee you, Footy and chat, they've been to his house to give him money, to give him more money when the owners went to his house and all that stuff, and he still refused. I mean, this is how persistent Isak is, and he can't be any clearer. And all of a sudden, the next few days, they're getting a striker through the door, and they're telling you, oh, he's not Isak's replacement; he's Wilson's replacement. Wilson left the backup in the last season. Like, when the season ended, Wilson left, and they didn't talk about Wilson replacement back then. That's kind of weird, isn't it? All of a sudden, now you're talking about Wilson now. So I can see them signing a player probably today, probably tomorrow as well, another striker, and Isak will be announced at some stage, man. I'm a firm believer, my brother. I'm a firm believer.
Yeah, I've said this to the chat when we tried to sign Florian Wirtz, for example. I said, what's this narrative that Liverpool can't attract big players like this?
Yeah.
What's this narrative that we can't spend big? So I get people will criticize the owners. There's been times where they have splashed the cash, and there's been times where Michael Edwards has delivered his throws over the line. There's a reason why rival fans were celebrating when he left. There's a reason why rival fans were crying in their boots when it got announced he was coming back to the football club, because even rival fans know what this guy is about.
Yeah.
And I said it all summer. I have full belief in Arne Slot, Richard Hughes, and Michael Edwards, because there's no reason why I should trust them. Because so far in this project, in the tenure of about the past 13 months, they've ultimately delivered on and off the pitch with fantastic signings, and on the pitch bringing a Premier League title. So there's no reason why I should not trust them.
Spot on.
I think the only time I will be annoyed and I will crash out if we don't deliver the two over the line within reasonings, because we simply can't go into this full season with 4 senior centre backs, one of them being 90 and one of them being injury prone and Joe Gomez. And then the attacking options, we can't be relying on Yoane Wissa to try and do what he did last week against Newcastle, coming off the bench, because in the attack we are still light. So for me, I'm going to remain full trusted in the club until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. If Isak and Guehi comes through the door, I know I stuck to my guns and I believed in them. I'm not going to do one of these rival fans. Oh my God, it's a day and a half to go. This time, let's crash out. Stuff like that. I'm one of these people where I make full judgments. I do this in my own life. I make full judgments when the situation is over, because then you can actually assess it and you can actually evaluate it a lot more. So for me, I feel like that's what the rest of the Liverpool community should do, in my opinion.
Check your message, bro. Check your message. That's if you want that.
Oh, private message.
If not, it's fine, bro.
Yes, bring him on, man. Because I haven't got his
I'll got it. Don't worry. I'll got
WhatsApp or anything. So.
Yeah, carry on though. Carry on.
Yeah, but like I said, I have full trust in the club, and me personally, the window is a 7 out of 10 if we don't sign them both, but it's automatically a 10 if we do. But for me, I don't know what you think about what's your window rating if we don't sign Isak. For me, it's not even about Isak as a player. We just need depth. Because if Cody Gakpo goes down injured, we've seen it before. Mo Salah's another year older. He's not Superman. He's not invincible. You know, how much more are we going to keep putting more and more pressure on Mo Salah? You know, and then you obviously look at Hugo Ekitike. Yes, Hugo Ekitike has had a fantastic start to the season. However, we don't know if he's going to be able to do that over the course of every single game week. You got Carabao Cup, Champions League, FA Cup. Our backup right now to Hugo Ekitike is Jayden Danns. As much as I think Jayden Danns is a talent, and as much as I think Yoane Wissa is a talent, they should not be putting pressure on to be backups to a Premier League champion side.
Exactly, bro.
No. If we want to go back to back, yes, I do think our injuries are going to be less reluctant, because we've seen that under the way that we play football and the way we look after our players now is different to the Jurgen Klopp tenure. But how do we know one of our players is going to go out there tonight and get, hamstring pulled? A hamstring can happen to anyone.
Exactly.
So for me, I'd be quite pissed off if we don't get Isak over the line. Again, it's not even about Isak for me. It's just about bringing in advocate depth. If you said to me Liverpool are signing, I don't know, Milik Fofana or even just a Rodrigo, for example, I'm sat in my chair and I'm gassed because I got what I wanted, depth. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see how the next day and a half does go. I don't know what you think about in terms of your transfer window assessment. In terms of what would you rate out of 10 if they don't go over the line? Sorry,
I said below 5, mate, because what I said last season was, if we were serious enough, if we was ambitious enough, we could have bought a couple of players in Jan to help the squad out to get over the line with the Champions League as well. You know what I mean? We could have won 2 trophies if we had the depth of the squad sorted out. But we chose not to. And PSG won it. Beat us in the penalty shootouts. They've won the Champions League. Why? Because Liverpool didn't have enough depth and we struggled. Some of the players couldn't do what they were normally doing. At the end of the day, Footy, they are human beings. They're not robots. They're not machines like you just said. Virgil is 34. 34, the body is not the same anymore. Even though he's having man of the match performances, he's carrying that defense at the moment because some of the other defenders are having a day off because there's no competition for places. Because what I've noticed about Konate, when there's other defenders pushing him, he elevates his game to the next level. Now there's no one pushing him. There's no Kwanzaa. There's no Matip. Gomez is hardly fit. You know what I mean? So he already knows in his mind he's going to play every game. So performances doesn't exist anymore. So this is why we need competition for places, bro. Why is Arsenal getting every player they want? Liverpool don't. I even asked these questions to the other guys, Enz and that the other day, and they started laughing. Arsenal went to Crystal Palace. They asked for Eze. They got him. We went to Crystal Palace. We asked for Guehi. We're still waiting. How is that possible? Who's the champions here, bro? Who are the champions here? You know what I mean? We've got to be serious here. We've got to act like champions. Get the players through the door. We want to dominate football in the next 5 to 6 years. If we're not going to sign players right now and say this squad is good enough, and we failed at the end of the season, and Arsenal win the league, then we're in a bad predicament. Think about it, footy. We could be in a stage right now. We beat Arsenal in the Premier League, and Arsenal will be no more. Do you know what I mean? Arteta will be sacked because do you think they're going to trust another billion with Arteta? They're not. The players psychologically are going to be gone. They're going to say, this is 4 seasons now. We've been challenging and we can't win the league. We ain't got that, mentality. So I need to go elsewhere to get that. And Liverpool could be a destination for some of those players. So we've got to put ourselves in a position where we could beat Arsenal to the Premier League. But if we're going to go in there with no striker, with no defender, with no winger and all that stuff at the same time, I could cope without a winger, to be fair. Then, I don't see us winning the league, bro. If this is it, and we're going to go with this, with a squad that's less than last season, there's something wrong with us then, bro. Great players, don't get me wrong, but the depth is needed, man. Arsenal have sorted that. They sorted out the depth. They're biting, so they're getting Henkape, innit? Henkape, that's how you say his name, I think. They're getting him through the door. I mean, that's a defender every Liverpool fan wanted at one stage. He's going to Arsenal. They're strengthening. What are we doing as champions? We've decreased. We've got rid of a lot of players, and we're going the other direction because we haven't got the strength. We've got to be serious here, bro. We decreased here, and I don't think anyone is looking at this. We're the champions. Act like champions, man. Come on. Sorry if I'm going like in a mad one, but it's the truth, bro. It's the truth, man. We've got to be serious here, man. Act like a serious club. We could put there was a time a few seasons ago, as you remember, footy, we were so dominant, we could have dominated teams like for years, but we chose not to. When we went to the Champions League, the Premier League, and all that stuff, we didn't buy the players to strengthen the team. What happened to us? We went the other way. We had to restart with the players that that couldn't hack it anymore because we wasted so many years. I don't want to go through that anymore. This time we've got a young squad that could dominate for the next 5 to 6 years. Let's add on to that quality to beat these teams and put them to sword. Like if you put Arsenal to sword, that means there's a lesser threat coming from another club. Do you know what I mean, Bailey? Sorry, footy. Do you know what I mean? So that can happen. So we've got to take that opportunity, bro. Man City, Pep Guardiola will be leaving, right? At some stage. He's going to be gone, right, footy? He'll be gone. Arteta doesn't win the league. He'll be gone. That's 2 clubs with no threat, footy. That's 2 clubs with no threat. Who's going to be the next threat? Nobody. So that means domination. And that's the way we got to go, bro. That's the way we got to go. We've got to take it seriously, bro. I know you. I don't know if I'm making it clear to everybody. We just got to be serious here, man, and take that opportunity because it doesn't come that often, footy, bro. I waited 30 years of Liverpool being rubbish, bro. Rubbish, buying rubbish players. Now we're back to where we belong. Let's take that opportunity. Get 21, get 22, get 23, get 24, get 7, 8, 9. Get closer to Real Madrid as well. I mean, 5 of them are weird anyway. You know what I mean? 5 of them, nobody knows where that came from. But yeah, get closer, bro.
Yeah, I agree, man. Big up to Anfield Irishman. Welcome onto the channel, mate.
Wolves, man.
For the first
cheers
time.
for the invite, man. Cheers. Sorry if I didn't have your number, Fozzie. I wasn't sure what was happening there for a sec. I was doing something else. But that's cool. Yeah, nice one. Cheers for the invite.
Yeah, always, man. I've seen you doing mad bits on your channel as well. So yeah, just thought, big you up as well for that, man.
Yeah,
long ass streams, man. I respect it.
Got to be done sometimes.
Yeah, 100, man. So we're just talking about like the transfer window right now. What's the reaction going to be if we don't, sign Isak or Guehi? I mean, look, for me, the window, it went from being probably the best window of our lifetimes to genuinely just being just a good window, in my opinion, because we brought in, yes, Kerkez, Frimpong, Wirtz, Ekitike, good players, but we didn't fulfill what was needed to bring in the advocate depth. And ultimately, we've failed, in my opinion, because Man City, they're not looking great. Arsenal, like, they've got depth all over the pitch now. Like, and seeing why is all week no one's talking about the Bukayo Saka injury? Last season, we knew how pivotal that was for them. Not many people, no one's talking about that now because they've brought in the depth that they needed. They've brought in the likes of Eze that can play in those positions. They've brought in Gyökeres, who can now fulfill and potentially score them 20-plus Premier League goals. For me, it's a concern if we don't bring in Isak, and it's not even about Isak as a player. It's about making sure that if we lose a player, we don't have to rely on Jadon Danns. I don't know what you think, mate. You might share a different opinion to me. Would you be concerned if we don't bring in Isak?
See, you're talking about, man, we're talking about on paper, one of the best, or just bringing in Ekitike and Wirtz is an incredible window for us. That on its own, in terms of bringing in that kind of quality. For me, it's been a good window so far because we sold the players that I wanted sold. Tsimikas, Diaz, Nunes, for me, were three of the main guys that we needed to get out. But we've increased the quality, but we've decreased the numbers. And Ekitike doesn't even have to get injured. What's he going to do? Play 75 games? Or what could we play if we went deep, like 63 games that you're looking at potentially? You can't play all of them. So Isak's injury history isn't amazing either. So to me, you're bringing in some like Ekitike, Wirtz, Isak. That's absolutely incredible. But there isn't a lot going on behind that. I still think we need a Fofana. We need a versatile forward. Someone who is basically kind of a fitter version of a Chiesa, younger version of Chiesa. That would really, really, really round it out. I think we need a deep line playmaker, but I think we're waiting a year to do that for some reason. I'm cool with that. But the depth at centre half is incredibly worrying without Guehi, and the depth up front is incredibly worrying without Isak.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to get into, can Isak stay fit? Because it's crazy because it should be a 10 out of 10 window. The names that we're bringing in, beating off people like Bayern Munich and Man City to sign probably the best young attacking midfielder in the world that's on the market, in Florian Wirtz, British transfer record. And we're still looking at that team going, yeah, but we need this and we need that. So I'm with you, man. I've always been very pro Michael Edwards, pro the way they do business, not pro FSG, not so much that, but I've always trusted them to do top business, and they've never really let us down massively. So, but this is a hell of a game of chicken they're playing. This is a hell of a game of chicken. This is last 24-hour bullshit. And if it works out, awesome. Well done. Thanks for the drama, lads. That was nice. Great final day. But if it doesn't, how did your head go from we signed Wirtz, Frimpong, Kerkez, Ekitike, and we're still not actually good? How do you wrap your head around that concept? Because it's kind of difficult for me. That it's all hinging on these two deals.
For me, I mean, look, I agree with you. It's not even about Isak as a player for me. It's about bringing in that versatile forward. I actually think Luis Diaz potentially could be a miss. I know a lot of the fan base don't rate him. I agree with Darwin Núñez. He's not. Darwin Núñez was crap last season in the game and didn't even play the games he did previous season. So for me, that was just easy money. I agree with you about Tsimikas. I agree with you about the other couple of players that we've sold. I think it has been a good transfer window. But ultimately, if we don't bring in Marc Guehi, especially with Konaté's form, we can't. Let's not try and gas up Giovanni Leone because majority of the fan base will try and do this gimmick where they've somehow watched him. I'm like, no, you haven't. He's 19 years old. So they'll just see, yeah, he's been called up to the Italy squad and think, right, that's it, he's ready to go. I'm like, no, we still need another defender because we know what Joe Gomez is like. We know Konate can have injury problems. And with his current form, we need someone to actually come in and be a statement to him and say, look, if you're not going to perform, mate, we'll bring someone in. I think in the fullback areas, I think we're fine. The goalkeeper areas, I think we've done well. I think the club long-term planning has been good in terms of the way that they've done with the left-back situation, they've done with the right-back situation, the goalkeeper situation. But no, we still need another centre-back. And you could argue, maybe, would you guys argue we still need 2 forwards? Or would you be content with 1 forward?
What do you mean in the transfer window, like now?
Yeah.
What, extra to Ekitike?
Yeah, so like, do you think we need to bring in 2 attackers, or would you be content with 1?
In an ideal world, like 2 attackers is needed, like Brian said, a winger, obviously, that can play right across the middle, and a striker, an out-and-out striker. It's all about taking the pressure off the players, isn't it? You know what I mean? We could utilize the squad somehow, exchanging players and all that stuff, rest players. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Keeping players fresh, like we did with McAllister so far. Like, we haven't played McAllister all the time because, the squad needs that. We're going to need McAllister at some stage to play consistently. So what they did is play the smart way, rest him, because we've got enough midfielders that could cope without him at the moment. So if we could have that right across the front line, that'd be helpful. So in the ideal world, we do need 2. But I could cope with just getting Isak for now. And then we'll see where we are in Jan. And then probably bring the other one through the door. But yeah, in an ideal world, we do need 2, brother. Isak and someone else, like you guys just said, Fofana, Rodrigo, which way you want to go, we definitely need another striker because we're forgetting what Diaz did last season. Diaz was part of that team that won the Premier League, and he played a big part, guys. Whether you like the way he plays or not, him, transforming into a striker helped the team get over the line, and he did that. He did that, that role, because the other 2 strikers wasn't scoring anymore. Jota went off form, rest in peace, by the way, and Nunes is Nunes. I mean, you're not going to get anything out of him majority of the time if he starts the game. So we still need replacements. 3 strikers have left, and we only got 1 in. That's not good enough, guys. I'm sorry. Like, we got to be honest here. So
no, 3 out, 1 in ain't going to work.
Ain't going to work. I'm sorry. Like, that helped you win the league title on its own. Now you're going for the same league title again and the Champions League with 1 striker. Make that make sense, guys. I mean, 3 of them helped as much as they could, and they won your league title. Now you decreased. You're only down to 1. You could say Chiesa, but we don't know what Chiesa we're going to get still. We're still hoping he could do something, but I'm still not relying on him. We do need, in an ideal world, we do need 2 strikers, of course. 1 can play out wide and 1 can play out front. And if we get only 1 for now, I'm all for it. Just get it over the line, guys. Why are we wasting time? I don't know. Yeah, but as for Leone is a long-term project. It's not a short-term fix. That's why I say we still need another centre-backs, because he's the future of the centre-back. It looks like he's the one who's going to be Van Dijk's replacement, from what I can see. If you know what I mean. I don't think they're going to go for anyone else. I think under the tutelage of Van Dijk, he's going to pass on the bat to him. He's got that kind of qualities. But I've never watched him. I don't know much about him. I'm not going to sit here and say to you guys he's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I don't know much about him. But from what I can see, this is the plan they got for that kid. And that's a long-term plan. We still need another centre-back, man. And Guehi has to happen right now. And if we don't get him through the door, we're in trouble, man. We're in trouble.
I completely agree with the centre back and the attacking options. Yes, I think, like Amphod Irishman put in the comments, 75 million for me was hard to turn down. I mean, look, for me, that was a fair price to sell him at. I was always content. If Liverpool got 70 million plus for him, I'll sell him. If not, I'd keep him, because 1, he doesn't get in. He very rarely gets injured. Obviously, I know we got a couple of injuries early into his Liverpool career. I think even when he wasn't getting goals and assists last season, I actually thought he played a pivotal part to the season. And I actually liked that rotation between Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz because the stylistically,
beautiful.
I like that stylistically because Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz are completely different in terms of wingers, and it offered a lot more to Liverpool's game. For me, scoring goals ain't going to ever really be an issue, but it's about not having that attacking depth to bring off the bench. So for me, it's definitely going to be really intriguing to see how the next day and a half goes, because I just seen a tweet from Indy. He did say exclusively Jackson and Strand Larson were offered to LFC, but Liverpool declined the offer and they only want Isak or nothing. So it is effectively Isak cut bust, but if we're going to sign an attacker, it's going to be Isak. If not, we look like we're going to go into this window. For me, what's more important to you two, Isak or Marc Guehi?
Go on, Irishman.
If massive biggest if on the planet, Joe Gomez somehow managed to stay fit for 8 months, then we can get away with no Marc Guehi. Because if the option is either or, it has to be Isak. Because this 2026 stuff, there's a reason everybody's pulling out all the stops now, because Isak is 26 years old. He knows this is the summer for him to move. Never won a major trophy in his life. Everyone's telling him he's one of the best strikers on the planet. He's looking at his trophy cabinet. There's not much in it. All these people he knows out there in world football going off winning things. Guys out there have 8, 9, 10 titles. He doesn't want to wait one more year at Newcastle when people might change their opinion on him next year. And it's just absolutely pivotal for us to bring this guy in as well, because we've gone so far into this one now. You have to be there for the guy. If they open the door, we have to go and make that bid. Otherwise, we'll have hung him out to dry. But Marc Guehi then solves an awful lot of problems for me too. I'm going with Isak, but Marc Guehi, to me, like, I'm with you, man. Like, Marc Guehi, I'm saying to him, because people are saying, oh, but he won't play. We've got Ibu. Take 2 looks at Ibu. Right? 1, he wants to go to Madrid. 2, his head's all over the shop. Are you telling me Marc Guehi doesn't think he can get into this team? I think he can. I think Marc Guehi could get into this team. Let's just say he plays a cup game and Ibu was out for the next Premier League game. He plays well in both. He can keep his spot. You know, because Ibu's head is, and it could even help focus or concentrate Ibu a bit. But yeah, I'd go with Isak, man. That's a real kind of FU to everybody else as well. You thought we were, you know, it was all nonsense. You thought that's a huge statement, and I think they have it in their heads that this is a statement summer. And I never even thought we'd get a player like Wirtz. I never thought we could get a player like Isak. The idea we could actually sign both, that is one of the biggest statements we will ever have made in football. Winning a league and then spending that kind of money, that tells you we're not a joke. We're not happy to have won it, and now we're going to see what happens. We want to dominate for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'll take Isak over Guehi any time of the week. You got to think about it in a way as well. Like, if Gomez stays, of course, we've got enough defense. That Leone kid's still there, and you've got Konate there. Listen, I want both of them, no matter what, in a way. But out of the two, I'll ask for Isak. The reason is, it will take a lot of burden off the rest of the strikers up front. And not only that, the focus won't be on Salah all the time or Gakpo. You know what I mean, that's what we faced last season. Remember, Nottingham Forest away, Brentford away, all these places, we struggled with the wings because the focus was mainly on them because they were the creative and the goal-scoring spark in the team. So imagine you get another forward with Florian Wirtz and you know, Isak, Salah, and Gakpo, and Ekatike. Imagine you have all that, you know, in the front line. That's too much, you know, distraction for the opponents, which means they're not going to keep focusing on Salah anymore. That's going to be taken away. So when you don't focus on Salah, he'll probably dribble and get a goal. If you don't focus on Gakpo, he'll probably dribble and get a goal or set up a goal. You know what I mean? That can happen. You cause confusions, guys. And this is why we need someone like that. And not only that, we could hold up the ball up front longer than usual as well, because Isak doesn't lose many duels, doesn't lose many possessions either from what I've saw of him when he plays football. So yeah, man, 100%. If you ask me out of the two, if we have to choose, Isak all day long takes a lot of pressure off everybody else around him. That's what I think. A lot of movements in the team, and a lot of goals. So what I mean, if we got bad defense as we're having right now, we'll outscore other teams. You know what I mean, guys? So yeah, Isak all day long, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, I do have faith in Canate to actually fix up. But Fabrizio just tweeted this, that Liverpool will allow Joe Gomez to leave Crystal Palace except sell Marc Guehi. So potentially Gomez to Milan then on a permanent deal. If Palace do accept Marc Guehi, I'd actually be quite sad, if Gomez goes, because he would have done 10 years at the club and never scored, man. Yeah,
low ball on us, 8.6 million.
Yeah, I think
8 to 10 million they're talking about. Yeah, I'd rather almost keep him around the place myself, to be honest with you.
No, I just feel like he's just a guy to keep around the dressing room. I felt like that's the same way with Andy Robertson as well. But Marc Guehi for 35 million is one of the steals of the window. This is a guy that can play multiple positions. And we talk about how Slot loves versatility players. Slot is becoming that versatility manager, the way he's able to adapt and play different style of formations. Marc Guehi can do that. If Slot wants to decide to go to a back three one day, instead of using Gravenberch and splitting the defenders, he can bring on a Marc Guehi and still keep Gravenberch on the pitch, for example. And this narrative that, Marc Guehi, he's bad aerially, looking at his aerial duel stats, the only times he actually loses aerial headers is on the other end of the pitch, not when actually defending. That's his job. His job is to defend and not to score goals. For me, this is a guy that's 24 as well, England international. He's England's best defender by a long mark, because John Stones is finished and there's no one else on Marc Guehi's level. I think he's a leader at the back as well. You've seen that with Palace, the way he's led them to 2 trophies. So for me, Guehi for 35 million is one of the steals of the window. And if this is a guy that had, let's say, 3 years left on his contract, you'll be paying minimum 60 to 70 million quid for him. You can't go wrong for 1 year left, 35 million. If not, we'll get him on a free in a year and we'll copy what Madrid do. So Guehi will become a Liverpool player. It's just whether it's going to be this year or next year. Hopefully it will be this year.
As long as we've got an agreement with him in it, man, because I don't want to do a bidding war at the end of the season, if you know what I mean. So if we have an agreement with him, then I'll be more confident he's coming to Liverpool if we're going to wait till next summer. But all this bullshit about him not playing in the first team and all that stuff is crazy. And then they're bringing England into that. I don't care about England. I care about Liverpool Football Club. And the player should care about Liverpool Football Club, because if he comes to Liverpool, that means trophies that you never thought you was going to get in your entire career will be coming to your cabinet. So there's a lot of bullshit going around about him not playing in the first team. It's just, you know what it is, guys. It's rivals, isn't it? Rival fans, rival pundits making up stories to prevent Guehi come to Liverpool. That's how it is. Have you guys noticed when it concerns Man City, when it concerns Man United, when it concerns Arsenal, nobody says anything about them. Look at Hencape going to Arsenal. Nobody's saying you're not going to play in the first team or anything like that to him. He's still going, and everybody knows the quality of him. So it's just the Liverpool thing, man. I wouldn't worry about things like that. They're just trying to disrupt our transfer because they don't want Liverpool to dominate football. That's what it is. Whenever Liverpool gets stronger, these people come out of the woodworks and always trying to bring us down. That's what it is. They're scared. I mean, they don't want a dominant Liverpool. They know this is Arsenal's last season of hurrah. I mean, and they want them to win more than Liverpool. That's the whole point of all this stuff. But yeah, if he comes, there's enough games for him to play, guys. You guys know that. There's one stage we had Matip, Gomez, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk. We had that many defenders before. Did anyone say anything about players not playing? No. They had their fair share of games. Listen, there's Champions League football, there's Premier League football, there's cup football. Somebody's going to get injured. You know what I mean? Someone's going to play out of position. It happens. It happens. And you're going to get your fair share of games. And if they're worried about his England position, who's better than him in the England squad? Maguire? Come on, man. Nobody. So I wouldn't worry. It's just Liverpool. That's what it is. As I said, when those other teams buy those defenders and they overstack their defense like Man City do, has anyone complained about them? No, because it's Liverpool. There's always something wrong with Liverpool. Enough, man. Get lost. This is the long-term thing. It's not a short-term thing as well. He's 24 years old. Our defense, like Van Dijk, 34 years old. Matip gone. Kwanzaa gone. The next generation will be ready when the other ones leave. As soon as they leave, these guys smooth transition. They're going to take over. And we're still going to have that success. That's the whole point of this process, guys.
I agree. And there was a reason why at the beginning of the window there was talk about 2 centre-backs. Because one of them was Marc Guehi and one of them was to bring in someone like a Huijsen calibre, that 19 to 21-year-old bracket. That's what Liverpool wanted. That's the reason why we signed Yoane Wissa, because Huijsen was our first choice. We didn't ended up getting him to Real Madrid, fair enough. And obviously now we're brought in Yoane, so I'm not concerned about him. He's the one for the future. I'm sure he'll get game time this season. And of course Marc Guehi will get game time this season, because at times Slot might want to rest Virgil van Dijk and Konate for a game or two. And also, we know with Konate's problems right now, I mean, when he does have injury problems, Marc Guehi will ultimately get minutes. And I mentioned a point about 20 minutes ago. In my opinion, if Slot wants to change it up a bit, like we saw last season at times where he changes the tactics a lot, he might put Guehi on and play a back 3. We don't know that.
Exactly.
So for me, it's about also managing Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk is not Superman like Mo Salah. He's not Superman. This is a guy that's 34 years of age. Yes, he's still getting man of the match awards. He's still the best centre back in world football, but he's a year older. Yeah. It's about managing him for the next 2 years and winning as many trophies as possible for him in the next 2 years. So he's remembered as one of the greatest, even though he is already remembered as one of the greatest. For me, he still needs to. He should easily have another Premier League or 2 on his record. So we need to ultimately deliver for them. That's why they signed that contract. They didn't sign it to collect a wage. They signed it because they wanted to win more trophies at Liverpool. So for us, we should be bedded into that project and deliver for them, because ultimately, what was the point of giving Mo Salah 400 grand a week? So for me, get the Guehi done, and we'll move on. And hopefully, me personally, I'll keep Joe Gomez around.
How can you not keep Joe Gomez, man? If we're gonna sell him for the cheap, there's no point. You know what I mean? If we're gonna sell him for cheap, you might as well just keep him. I don't understand. This guy can cover right. Huh? So again, go on.
If he asks to go, I mean, he says, "Look,
then that's another thing." But
I'd like a new chapter in your life." If he asks to go, then and we've got 4 in the building, then okay. But I'm not pushing him out. I'm definitely not pushing him out, and it's not.
But Irishman, didn't he say he wants to stay now? I swear he said that when the transfer window reopened. The thing is with him, guys, like he could play all across the front, all across the back, and he could play as a DM as we saw a couple of seasons ago. You need players.
I don't like him at right back. Sorry, I don't like him at right back. Not anymore. Maybe 4 years ago, but just especially in this team, I think. I like him sitting in at left back and definitely at centre half. I think right back is a bit beyond him now at this stage. We had a big debate like on my show before the other game started, and I was very much Szoboszlai to start at right back because of his athleticism, his fitness, and all that.
Yeah.
K-Mac was going big on Gomez, and I was just sort of thinking like, and Gomez didn't even get on the pitch, you know. So I just think that's the only position. I just like him on the bench because then he can come. Then you know you've got that cover there. But it's like with any player. It's like with Guardiola and City. They say anytime a player comes to them and says they want to leave, doesn't matter who that player is. If a player wants to leave, I think that's the way he should always be as a club. Maybe Gomez, like you're saying, dude, he's here. There's no he's here longer than pretty much anybody that works in the building.
Yeah,
he came in like when freaking Rodgers was here. Some people don't even remember Brendan Rodgers that are watching YouTube now. They go, "Oh yeah, that Irish guy back in the day," you know. It's a long time at Liverpool. It really is, and Milan is a beautiful place. Italy's a maybe, and they have a history of buying older English players. But I did want to ask one thing. I want to ask you, Footy. To me, our attack is you've got a ton of players, right? That they play kind of one position, and well, they obviously they can play multiple positions, but their main position will be central, and then their second is kind of left-hand bias. Wirtz plays through the middle, but he can play off the left. Loves to operate on the left. Ekitike plays through the middle. He likes to drift out to the left. He can play off the left. Gakpo plays off the left. Rio plays off the left. Isak loves to drift out left, but plays through the middle. There's other than Salah and if you want to call Chiesa, go with Chiesa. But we don't have much. I'd like to bring in someone like that versatile forward that we're talking about. But I'd like to bring in someone who, let's just say, mainly they operate through the middle, but their next best position is off the right. We've got so many guys that are kind of like to operate in that left-hand area or centrally. I'd like to bring in someone who's kind of right side dominant. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why we let Diaz go, because we have so many players that can operate now in that kind of left-hand channel. And I'd like to bring in someone. And if Chiesa can stay fit, maybe he can be that guy.
Yeah, I agree. We do need more versatile forwards that can play on the right and down the middle. I don't know what it is with Liverpool just signing left wingers that can play on the left-hand side. But I feel like another narrative is, how many games are they going to get off the right, though? Because
Salah's always fit,
like Salah is always fit. Like, when was the last time Mohamed Salah picked up a serious injury? The Jurgen Klopp final season, when he picked up that hamstring.
That was the last time when he came back from AFCON with a hamstring. Was a lot, and even that wasn't like major.
Yeah. So, for me, I just want to bring in more forwards, just due to the fact that I think we need the bodies in the building, because right now we only have one recognised left winger in Cody Gakpo. And the thing is with me with Cody Gakpo, I love Cody Gakpo and I'm happy he's signed a new contract, is we know he can be like a ghost, Casper the Friendly Ghost at times. With Luis Diaz at times last season, yes, he wasn't providing goals and assists, he was providing with the work rate off the left-hand side and the pace and power that he also brought. For me, we need to bring in another attacker, whether that is another striker who could play on the right. Yeah, I agree about the Chiesa thing. I would love Chiesa to stay fit. He was one of my favourite players from the previous Euros. And we all know the talent, but that was 4 years ago now. There was a reason why Juventus let him go for so cheap, because otherwise they would have commanded easily 50 million if they thought he could possibly stay fit and do a job for Liverpool. But unfortunately, he's not. And to be honest, if you actually look at Chiesa as a whole last season on the team sheets, there was times where he wasn't even actually injured. Slot just didn't fancy him. Now all of a sudden he fancies him as a player. He came on against Newcastle, came on against Bournemouth, did jobs in both games. So I don't know what's kind of changed with the narrative there. Do you guys think Chiesa can play a part this season? For me, look, if we get an offer for him, I'll probably, sell, if I'm being honest. But I would love him to stay at the club if he can actually stay fit. And actually
that's a book one. That's a book one for me. Like, as in 4 years' time, someone's going to write a book and we're going to find out what the hell was going on with this kid last year. Because just this mystery injury after mystery injury after mystery injury. I don't know if he's like, he was left out of the preseason tour because he was being sold. Then we get this story that he was kept because we sold Diaz, which I don't buy. If he's Arne Slot has come back and talked about how he's totally changed as a player and all that, he's a new, his fitness. Virgil come and say he was really unlucky with injuries last year. If, like you're talking, like the Chiesa that was, what is it, nearly 5.5 years ago now, he was been linked with us for 100 million after Euro 2020.
I remember, yeah.
Then he does his ACL. He's 27 now, which is crazy. If you can get that player back and stay fit, but can he? He hasn't shown us or proven to us that he can do a Premier League season. A Premier League season is a hell of a season, especially with a club like Liverpool. So, like Joe Gomez, would you bank on Joe Gomez to stay fit? You'd be silly to do so. Would you bank on Chiesa to stay fit? You'd be silly to do so. But no, that's it. The problem is, like, this is what we've spoken about this for years, is how can you get a player that's good enough to play when Mo Salah isn't playing, but is also happy to not play when Mo is fit, when Mo is fit for 95% of games. That's one of the hardest things in football to do, is to get a player that can play, do that job, but it's like, oh, cool, Mo's fit. No, I'm good sitting on the bench. What, for 80% of the games? It's just, that's why you've always had these random kind of bits and pieces in behind Mo. And that is his injury record is even more, almost as impressive as his goal record.
Yeah, true.
The guy just literally never gets injured. And then it's like, oh, it's only a cup game against Chelmsford. Oh, yeah, Mo's starting. Of course he is. Of course he is. You know, just
he's got to break another record, isn't it?
He's always got records to break. Now, it was actually a really interesting quote from him earlier on during the week, and it didn't get a lot of play, but he spoke about how last season, he admitted the individual records were a big deal for him last season, going along with the title. But he said this season, his focus is different. In more just kind of, he's achieved what he wants to achieve almost in terms of personal records. It was a real interesting quote. I'm not sure if he's been kind of had a chat with the manager that he's going to be more of a team player this year. He's not going to be worried about, I only need one more goal to get this, or I only need one more appearance to get that kind of thinking. That I didn't get really reported that much. It was a very interesting quote from him saying his focus is different this year.
Do you prefer him like that, though, to focus like that now at this stage of his career, Irishman?
That's what's best for the team. If him scoring, being the main man and being the focus, it works out best for us.
Doesn't that tell you? Sorry to interrupt, brother. So if you're saying it in like that, focus on creativity and all that stuff, and less of the goals, records and all that. So doesn't that tell you guys there could be a potential striker coming in then? That's going to take.
The spread is going to be different. Yeah, 56% non-penalty goals was involved in last year.
Yeah,
that's too much. There's too much. I mean, the spread has to be more, and it will be more with Wirtz and Ekatika, and hopefully in Isak. It couldn't not be more. So we can, like I think I said it. I expect us to score more goals this year, but Mo to score fewer goals. I expect us to spread them out more. So yeah, the onus doesn't have to be on him every game to get a goal or two goals.
Like in regards to the forward line, you guys were discussing about, a possible another like a winger kind of player coming into the team. I don't see Chiesa as a replacement for Salah in the right side, because he's a right foot player, isn't it? So he's more or less going to be from the left or somewhere in that position, and as a striker or as a number 10. That's his role for the team at the moment, from what I've seen him when he comes on the pitch. This Fofana kid at Lyon, I think we've been strongly linked with him. He's more of a Salah kind of backup than anybody, because he's a left-footed player that plays on the left, by the way, but can play on the right, if you know what I mean. So if they go for someone like him, I'll be all for that, because not only can he play on the right side to replace Salah, he could go right across the pitch and play on the left side as well. So let me clear it up. There's games it'll be difficult to open up teams because we can't go past them. Why don't we? I don't know if you agree with me, Footy and Irishman. Why don't we ever go, a right-footed player on the right and then a left-footed player on the left? So this Fofana kid, that's the only problem we have with Salah. He only plays on the right. But if you get that Fofana kid, he could play on the left sometimes and have two left-footed players on the left side, so they could put some crosses on in the box. If you know what I mean, guys. Why don't we go down that route sometimes and get a player like that in, rather than having similar players to Salah that could only play one side of the pitch? If you know what I mean. I would love to see it, like a John Barnes kind of thing sometimes. Irishman, someone on the left, crossing in the ball when he's taking on players, and change up the tactics sometimes. Shock the opponents. Do something they haven't prepared for. If you know what I mean, guys. I don't know if it's making sense what I'm saying.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I think
Because if you do the same thing again and again, you know, cutting in from the right, cutting in from the left, it's too predictable. You know what I mean? So shock the opponents. Just get a left-footed guy on the left wing, cross the balls into the box to the far post or in the middle of the goal. Take on players, go on the byline, cross it in. That's what I'm saying. Things like that. If we do things like that,
do that for us.
Shock opponents that prepare for us. If you know what I mean, guys.
Could Frimpong be that guy that cuts outside goal and he can deliver the crosses?
Yeah, that's another one that could play on the right, like with his pace.
I mean, from right back. I mean, he can just we can get crosses into the box from him, even just when he plays right back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like with Fofana, he's more, because I looked at it and I was thinking about it the other day. Like that kid can do a lot of damage because I saw him play. He's a left-footed player that plays on the left wing. That means he could play on the right as well, and he could like cut in from the right. So if he could play right across that front line, it would be beneficial for Liverpool Football Club. No doubt about that, man. Because I don't want it the same for same. It's just the same stuff every time. I can't do that anymore, man. But yeah, go ahead, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention, what Irishman mentioned, was about Salah. I feel like Salah knows he's kind of completed all the personal accolades. I feel like he would have got 30 plus assists if he had a recognised proper number 9 from not Darwin Núñez. I feel like for him now, because he knows there's loads of quality players in the team now that can score goals, he knows he's not going to get all the goals. I think Salah for last season was about redemption for this team to try and celebrate another Premier League title with the fans. And I feel like he wanted to be that man to get us over the line, which he did. I feel like for him now, it's just about, team trophies now. What else is there to do from a personal level? What, just keep scoring goals? Because I feel like for him now, the only record that he could probably try and do is this year record. And I don't think he's going to have enough seasons to be able to do that. For him now, it's about trying to add another Champions League, another Premier League to his cabinet to solidify his legacy even more and becoming the GOAT of the Premier League. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I feel like he knows now.
Yeah.
Irishman, was you on about the Sky Sports interview, by the way, when it came to the Salah one?
It might have been tweeted on that. Yeah. I think what you were saying.
I watched it live on Sky Sports News.
Okay.
Because, I do remember some of those things he mentioned, and he also mentioned about Arsenal being favourites. I don't know if that was just
he said that.
I think that was a nice little dig. I think that was a nice.
I like that. Shot. I like that though. Put the pressure on the other. Man. I like that stuff, guys. I've got to go because I've been on the stream today. Good. Listen, great panel chat, everything like that. Big up to everybody. I want to respond to John. John, I'm not talking about blocking Rio's path. Fofana is a left-footed player. He could play, I'm talking about long-term replacement for Salah on the right side as well. That's what I'm talking about. But a player that could play right across the pitch. That's what I like, I said. So he's not blocking Rio's path. It's eventually probably replacing Salah. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, guys, big up, man. Thank you for FootyReacts for letting me in, of course. Irishman, you never walk alone. See you guys soon, yeah? Take care, everybody.
See you later, Fozzie, mate.
Yeah, big up yourself, Sonny, for joining the stream. How are you doing, sir?
How are we, Reacts? How are we, Brian? You okay?
Good, mate. Good.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Hope you're well yourself. We're just talking about the transfers with a day and a half to go. I can't remember if you came on my channel last night, Sonny, or not. What's your opinions and thoughts? Because I'll speak to Fozzie and Brian about their opinions. What's your opinions and thoughts about the window with a day and a half to go with Guehi and Isak? Is it getting squeaky bum time for you? Are you still relaxed? How are you feeling?
If Marc Guehi comes in, I'll be a lot more relaxed because our main Achilles heel at the moment is our defence. Like, Kanate looks dodgy. The full-backs haven't really fitted in yet. One of them's injured now. Kerkez is slowly getting there. The Isak one, I think, if it didn't happen, I think we could knock it down the road, maybe till January or the next summer. It wouldn't be ideal, but I think we could get away with doing it. But I think we'd probably have to buy maybe a Malik Fofana on top of a Marc Guehi to get through to January. But if we sign Marc Guehi, I'd give it like a 7, 8 out of 10. If we get Isak, I'd say knocked it out the ballpark, at least a 10 out of 10.
For me, I gave it a 6/7. If we only sign Guehi, because for me, we still need advocate depth up front. I don't know what you think. I don't think we sign a Malik Fofana or anything like that, because I feel like from what Fabrizio Romano and everyone is saying, they've been offered a couple of players. Whoever these 3-4 players was remains to be seen. It genuinely just looks like it's Isak or bust.
They were saying it was Strand Larson and Jackson, which is
If
weird.
it's Strand Larson and Jackson, then yeah, I'd rather just get nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd rather just wait.
Yeah, I'd take someone like that if they just happen to be in our squad somehow. It'd be like, yeah, cool, whatever, good backup. Or like, same with someone like a Mateta. It'd be, if you had him in your squad, you wouldn't be complaining about it too much. You'd get cup games out of him, some minutes or something. But he's not someone you go out buying. Jackson, crazy. Strand Larson, good signing for a Newcastle or a Aston Villa. Great signing for one of them. Not for us. No chance. So, yeah, it's like I was saying, I think maybe there was a little bit of these guys are in England, so we can wait. But even we're talking about like the depth. We were saying it last night, man. You sign Isak tomorrow. That would make it about 3 months since he's played a competitive game of football. He's had no proper preseason. He's had no full team training. The league's already kicked off. It's not like he's an Eze to Arsenal that's got like full preseason minutes under his belt to go and play. So even if we were to sign Isak tomorrow, he could take, if you try and rush him into a team like he's gone away with Sweden now, he has no preseason, nothing, no training schedule, nothing. He's doing his own bits on his own, running around field somewhere. But he's going to lead a little mini preseason, tactical stuff, all that kind of stuff, shape work, all that kind of stuff. So it's not like he can just come straight into this team and start. Is it? Does anybody expect him to walk straight in? Off the back of
Definitely not.
no competitive football since what, May?
I think the next international break.
I think the international break will help it a little bit. The fact that he breaks up and he goes to Sweden, he gets a bit of minutes in his legs, before we actually do sign him. I think that'd help a lot.
Yeah,
I agree. I think by the next international break, he should be okay. Because then
2 or 3 weeks working with the team.
Yeah. Because then you would have had 2-3 games in the international. You would have had a couple of appearances off the bench while having just training sessions with slot on the team as a loan. So I'd hope by like October he should be fully fit and okay to go.
Yeah, it's a long time off with no playing, so I don't think we should expect him to come in and just be playing 70, 80, 90 minutes after a week.
Oh yeah, no. Lucky enough after international break, we got teams like Burnley away, which I fully expect, to be like walking the parks. Teams that we should be beating. Therefore, there won't be no real pressure on him. It's not like we've got like difficult games in terms of where it's like, we've got like Chelsea, Man City all in that running. From looking at our fixtures, we haven't got those games. So that's why I've been more content and relaxed about the exact situation when he comes in.
I feel like Ekatike as well as me is a lot more relaxed about the striking situation. If he would have come in and not scored, we would have been, obviously, a lot of us would have been worrying about getting Isak over the line a lot more. But I think Ekatike took a little bit of worries off everyone's mind. I know, obviously, we've only got one technical striker at the moment. If he went down, it would be worrying stations. But the way Ekatike seamlessly just come into the team and fitted in quicker than any of the other signings is obviously put a lot of massive doubts in Liverpool players' minds and stuff as well.
Yeah. He's been boss. Yeah, and plus our Champions League games I mean, to be fair, our first couple ones are a bit tough, to be fair. I think our first one's Atletico Madrid at home.
No, Real at home, 17th.
Is that the 17th of November?
September.
What, Real Madrid?
I can't wait for that. Real Madrid.
Real Madrid at home, yeah.
I thought it's Atletico Madrid first.
Abdul just put them in there, I think.
I think
Yeah,
we
Madrid.
played November. I know we play Atleti in September. But I think it's because our last couple of games is like Qarabag and teams like that.
Be interesting to see if Real Madrid actually start them against us, because they haven't been relying on them much at all. Now that Carvajal's coming back into the fold as well, it'd be interesting to see if they even play him against us.
I think he might duck it.
Sorry, 4th of November.
Yeah, I knew it was sometime in November.
Madrid, Real Madrid at home, 4th of November. I don't know about 17th September. Yeah. 4th of November, Real Madrid at home.
Got to be honest, didn't know much about Ekitike. Ekitike's been boss. I've been very happy with him. So do you guys still think we definitely get both of them then? Guehi and Isak? Just on them.
Yeah. Yeah, 70% we get both.
How much
100% we get one of them. 100% we get one of them. 70% we get both.
I'd say 100% with Marc Guehi. I think that's definitely going to happen. The Isak one, it's just I'm hoping more than I haven't put in my mind that it's actually going to happen yet. If you know what I mean, I'm just hoping and praying I wake up and he's there in a red shirt, and then I can terrorise all my Everton fans on the other side of my family about it.
I think Guehi, here we go, happens tonight, because I don't. If he plays against Palace, it's very interesting and telling, because surely you don't play a game, potential risk of injury and all that, like ahead of a big medical the next day, or finalising the move or whatever, because it's deadline day tomorrow. So I think they've got who's Palace got tonight? I can't remember who they've got.
Forest, is it?
Yeah, Forest or someone. Oh no, I think it's West Ham actually. It's someone.
Villa.
And then Villa. So
Villa.
surely you don't risk it. If he starts, I reckon, then it just opens up another can of worms, because surely you don't play. Because the same thing happened with Eze when he didn't play in the Europa Conference League game. Next day he signed for Arsenal. So hopefully
That was a bit
The
weird, because some people were saying that Guehi, he's only playing because they want him to play and guarantee, qualification for the European Conference or Euro Conference League, and as soon as they get that, then he won't play again. I was like, okay, it's still risky. You go out and you play against Fredericksburg or something like that, and you get a kick in the knee, and okay, now you're out for 6 months. Nobody's selling you, nobody's buying you then. So it was always a risk to play him.
It is. Sonny, what's your we was discussing earlier about the attacking options with Chiesa and bringing in another forward that could play in other different positions. What's your thoughts in terms of Liverpool doing that and it just literally being Isak or bust?
Yeah, we've put ourselves in a bit of a tricky situation because if the Isak deal doesn't happen, I don't know what we would do. It looks like we'd probably do what we did with Van Dijk and wait for him and try and go in for him again in January or the summer. And I don't know what you guys feel like, but I've spent like a month of my life speaking about Isak and Marc Guehi. I don't think we need another year of it.
No.
But if we do get him, it changes everything. He can play up top. Ekitike can rotate down the left. Same with Gakpo. Then we've got Rio and Chiesa as options as well. It makes things look a lot better overnight. I think that's how we play as well, because Gakpo's up and down a lot of the time, and I feel like Ekitike would slowly but surely probably kick Gakpo out of his position.
So you think Ekitike left wing if Isak comes in?
Only because Gakpo, don't be wrong, some days Gakpo's world class, one of our better players, but other games he can either be an 8 out of 10 or you'll get a 3 out of 10 out of him. There's no in between with Gakpo. And them games that I feel like they're the games where Ekitike, because his form that he's in now, it will, if we do get Isak, it's going to hit a stage in the season where it's like, who do we start here? Do we start Gakpo? Do we start Ekitike? Do we start Wirtz? Do we start Slobosly?
Yeah, I mean, it's good options. I want the manager to have a headache. That's what we want as fans. You know? I just.
But I feel like.
Sorry, go on.
I feel like as well, like I'm not like most people are just speaking about the transfer and not actually how we play. I feel like the way we play would change quite a lot as well if Isak comes in. You know, because we probably change our system a little bit, you know, to fit him, and he likes floating down the left hand side as well. And it's just it'd probably be one of the better strike forces in the whole of Europe if we get him. There's not many that you could put up against our strike force.
It's the best from three in world football, in my opinion. For me, Isak's pound for pound the best striker in the league. You got the best right winger, and Ekitike is just boss. I don't think anyone in the league has got a better front three, and even in Europe. Maybe you could argue Paris Saint-Germain. Other than that, I struggle to find anyone else who's got a better attack.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Ekitike can push Gakpo very hard. I think I've been saying for a while now, Gakpo has to be his big season because Diaz is gone. He should be the main man. He's 26 now. He's not 23 anymore. He's going to be given the chance to go out and show what he can do. He's got Ferguson behind him in a top team. This really should be a kind of that season where he doesn't do what you guys are talking about. You mentioned already, disappearing in games or not, being top player for 2 games and then not really keeping that level up. He's in a team now where hopefully that's not going to cut it. Being good for 1 out of 3 games, or he's a top player, but is he? I have no problem with Liverpool being so good that a player that's as good as Gakpo can't get into our team. I don't see it's not a slight on the player. It's just an endorsement of the club, that's how good we are now. That players that are at this level can't get into this team. We should be happy about things like that. We shouldn't worry too much about, poor Cody Gakpo. If we're the cynic, and you could say we protected his value with a new long-term deal. He's got a year left to prove himself, and if he doesn't, I don't want to overgas anybody, but sometimes you just have to recognize talent. And I'm not saying this guy's going to start games for us in the Premier League. We should be kind of, cool about stuff, but we also shouldn't underestimate why Rio is in this first team squad. Why he's not in the under-23s or the under-18s. He's part of this first team squad. And that's because he's expected to have the opportunity to make an impact. So we shouldn't, he's 17. We all know how young he is. We all know about young players. But when a guy is this good, Wayne Rooney, Saka, Michael Owen, people, it's hard to stop a player when they're that good, even if they are just 17. So I expect him to have 10 to 15 starts this season across all comps, not in the league, obviously, but across all competitions. I expect his impact to grow and grow and grow because he's already built like a man. He plays like a man, and he's got the ability he's shown. So I expect Rio to have a part to play this year. He's already won us a huge game. I mean, this guy's writing his own script, He comes on with 5 minutes left and he wins one of the biggest games in the season, the huge away game with all this nonsense going on. Comes on, finishes it easy like he's been doing it in the playground. the guy it's hard to keep a lid on talent like that sometimes.
Yeah, we did a show I'd say about 7 or 8 weeks ago, didn't we, Brian, on your show? And me and Brian were saying Rio's that good, because I'd said that I'd seen him in pre-season. I think he's good enough to play now. He's that good. And Brian thought the same, and then everyone was kind of arguing with him, us basically saying he's too young, you can't play him. And I feel like he's already in a very short time span already made everyone who like said this stuff about him eat the words, because as Brian said, if you've got talent, it doesn't matter how young you are. Look at Lamine Yamal. And as Brian said a couple of times, like, why can't Rio be the next Lamine Yamal or the next Rooney or Owen?
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned about the Gakpo point. We've seen it where we've given, look at Kwanzaa when we're given that contract, future planning. It puts more market value on the player. And I actually also think Liverpool gave him the contract to also give him a kick up the arse as well. Not just to reward him, just to kick up the arse to say, look, potentially you might not be the first choice left winger eventually, but we're going to compromise you and give you a new contract as well.
Exactly.
To make him happy as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So like with Isak coming in, for example, like Katika plays left, but we've compromised you with a new contract. He's still going to get minutes. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it was an absolute tactical, brilliant plan from Liverpool to give Gakpo that contract. And now he's got 5 years left, and he's still 25. So he's still 2-3 years away from his peak. But big up to my fellow brother man, Uncle Rods. Hope you're doing well, my guy.
Yeah, sitting there on a nice cup of tea.
Nice cup of tea, Come on.
You know those ones, isn't it? It's got to be done, man. It's got to be done. What's going on, people? Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Good to see you, man.
Cool. So what we talking about?
How are we, Rod? You okay, brother?
Yeah, I can't complain, Sonny. I can't complain, brother. You know what I mean? When I have life, I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So everything's all good, man. I met Fing yesterday, Musa Sissoko. I met him yesterday. You know that guy used to play when I used to play for Top
Watford.
He plays for Watford. He still plays for Watford. He still plays for Watford now.
He still plays for Watford. Wow.
Yeah, he's 36. 36, still plays for Watford. I'm telling you, mate, he's still a fucking unit. Excuse my language. He's still a unit.
Big lad. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's like, you know what I mean? He's like, when I was like giving him like a touch like that, you literally had to crouch down to do it, I was like, rascal. You know what I mean? Nice fella though. Nice fella. Really sort of like, friendly and, happy and that. Do you know what I mean? He's not up his own ass. Do you know what I mean? He's just friendly and happy and so forth. Do you know what I mean? He's always got time to greet people. Do you know what I mean? He's always got time to greet people and that. So yeah, do you know what I mean? It's all good still. But yeah, so yeah, we're all good. Looking forward to the match today. You know what I mean? Gonna do a match preview at 1:30. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, looking forward to the match today. Trying to think whether they're gonna sort of like, get these guys in.
Yeah, that's what we're just talking about.
Yeah. Do you know what it is at the end of the day, right? You know what? Yeah. I'm not saying at the end of the day they won't do it, because I think they will do it. It's just that it's taking too long. Do you know what I mean? And like, you could have got these players in, yeah, right? You have got these players in, and you could have sort of like been on the lookout for any other players that we needed to get. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I just think it's dragged on far too long. And we're at the situation today that situations like, you see tomorrow, it's not certain that he's gonna cut these two players is gonna come through the door. It's not certain. I don't put it this way. I don't think it's certain until I hear they're at Liverpool doing their medical. That's when I say it's certain. When at Liverpool doing their medical. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just dragged on far too long for me. And in the meantime, at the end of the day, these other teams at the end of the day, like your Chelsea, like your Arsenal, they're getting their bits. They're getting their business done like that. Apparently, Nkapie is going to Arsenal for 52 million. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know?
I said we'd be all over that.
We should have been all over. What I'm trying to say is that we should have sort of like got these business done, like your Isak and like your sort of like Marc Guehi. We should have got them done long time ago. Do you know what? I say this in the day, right? Yeah. If they wanted sort of like if they wanted 45 million or 50 million and there for Marc Guehi, just pay them the money. It's not as if you ain't got the things about it. It's not as if you ain't got the money. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Right? Then you got like Alexander Isak, right? You're waiting till they open the door for you to bid. What you waiting for? Just go in there, bid 130 million, 10 million add-ons, get it done. Just get it done, bro. No, it's true though, isn't it? It's true though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's literally taken far too long. So now what's happened now? You see tomorrow now, yeah? It's all on tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? It's all on tomorrow. It's all on tomorrow whether you get Marc Guehi, Isak, or Morgan Rogers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because those are the targets that we're after at the moment that we want to sign. Do you know what I mean? It's just all on tomorrow now. So you got like a busy day tomorrow now because you've got until 7 o'clock in the day to get those deals over the line. Do you know what I mean? Is that what time
it shutters at 7?
Yeah, 7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock to Monday evening. You understand what I'm saying? Because thinking it, a lot of these players have to go off the international duty, innit? Because you got like international break, innit, for 2 weeks. So it's 7 o'clock tomorrow. So you got to 7 o'clock tomorrow and day to get these deals done. So that means that you got to get up at the name mega early, get on the phone to get. You know what I mean? No, it's true though, isn't it? Come on, it's true though, isn't it? Seriously, I know it sounds funny. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it is almost laughable. It is. Trust me, it is laughable. But when you check the serious sides of it, right? Why are we in this position? You look at other teams at the end of the day, other teams, right? Yeah. It's like they've got their business done. It's only the teams that at the end of the day that are bottom of this kind of mid-table towards the bottom of the league at the end of the day that faff around on sort of like a deadline day. We don't usually. The last time we faffed around on transfer deadline day is when we bought Andy Carroll. Remember?
We bought Oxlade-Chamberlain on deadline day.
Who?
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, look how that turned out. Look how that turned out. He spent more time on the hospital bed than what he did on the pitch. Good player though. He was a good player. It's a pity. Yeah. It's a pity that his injuries and all that. Do you know what I mean? You see, but even when you look at that footy and then when was that? 2017.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's about what? Isn't that about 8 years ago?
Yeah, but
definitely got someone else shit on deadline day. We've definitely bought someone else since that on deadline day that was shit.
Who?
I'm just trying. I know we have. I just can't remember, but we definitely have. And
No, we haven't.
Ben Davies and Kabak.
Yeah, I was going to say that one wasn't.
Yeah, Kabak. I thought but Kabak was alone. But but Davies, we bought him. So yeah.
Well, you never played. You never played for the club.
Got Carvalho on deadline day.
Huh?
Fabio Carvalho who went to Brentford. Artemelo, another one. Yeah, we got on deadline day. Jeez.
Yeah. But you see the pattern with all these players that we got on deadline day. They didn't really.
Oh yeah. No, I was going to. There's definitely someone crap. I knew they were all crap.
Yeah,
we bought crap players on deadline day. I knew there was even someone more. Kabak. They were loans, okay, but yeah, those last minute. But Rods, that's what I'm thinking, man. Is that we wouldn't be playing this game like we're too well run at the moment to be sitting here left with egg on our face on Monday. If we didn't think we were getting these guys, I don't think we'd still be in the building. I think we would have moved on. I can only assume. That's my way of thinking. Is that we must genuinely believe we're getting these players. Otherwise, we would have walked away by now. Surely we would have walked away by now.
Bro, I hear that. You know what I mean? And I still think I'm like you. I do feel at the day strongly that we sign these players at the day tomorrow. Yeah. But what my argument is, right? We shouldn't have to wait till deadline day. We should have had our business wrapped up for a long time.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And then what you could have done, yeah, you could have used you could have used the deadline day, yeah, to see if there's any last minute bargains. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Just mess with other clubs and shit.
Yeah, because you know
just
what?
See who's Man United are trying to buy and just nip in and take them or
Yeah,
something for no reason. Yeah.
You know what? You know when like you got, I know you got the stores that do this in Ireland. Yeah, you know you got the discount. You know you got the discount department, the food. You know what I mean?
Oh, the yellow sticker.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. The little sticker.
Yeah,
usually that's about let's say like half an hour before the shop closes, isn't it? You know what I mean? In the supermarket. So that the shop.
That's my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you do that.
Yeah,
You
put the yellow stickers.
Right. So you put yellow
Yeah,
stickers.
I am the whoopsie man, mate. That's literally my job, and that's what I
do. Whoopsie man.
Do you know what it is, Sonny? So I'll talk to you now. You'll probably do that. So like before, like half an hour or 45 minutes before the supermarket shuts, in it. Do you know what I mean? Like at certain time. Yeah.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Yeah, you basically fit. Yeah, you've got to do it at certain times.
Right. So that's what we could have done for. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what we could have done for transfer deadline day. Is look to see on transfer deadline day. Excuse me. Look to see if we could have got any bargains, like a defender or DM or this or that. Do you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Because like what it is on transfer deadline day, there's a lot of agents on the phone to specific clubs like your Liverpool, like your Chelsea, like your Arsenal, like your this and that, right? Trying to get their player a move. Do you know what I mean? Because nobody's come in for them all summer, yeah? So they're trying to get their player to move now. Do you understand what I'm getting at? We could have used transfer deadline day for that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? So if we saw a player in day that we think, you know what? They're shotting him for 30 million and for that. Yeah, he's worth 30 million. Right, there you go. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm getting at? We could have used it for that specific purpose. But no, what we're doing in day, right? We're using it that for the purpose of signing Marc Guehi, Alexander Isak, and if Morgan Rogers comes in. Personally, I think at the day, if Liverpool approach Aston Villa with the right price, I think they sell because they need to sell it to comply with the PSR. Do you understand what I'm saying? And like, if Morgan Rogers hears about sort of like Liverpool in for him, and obviously Liverpool the champions, and Liverpool going to play in Champions League instead of Europa Cup, Europa Conference League, yeah. Well, he's going to jump at the chance that they to come to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But we could have used transfer deadline day for a different purpose other than sort of like getting sort of like Marc Guehi in and getting sort of like Alexander Isak in, because that to me at the end of the day, those sort of deals there, right? These deals should have been done for a long time. Do you know what I mean? You know, that's how I feel about it.
No, I echo what you say, but I feel like the club planned to do it all then, if I'm being truly honest, because I feel like with Marc Guehi, we know Palace's original price tag was 50 million. That's slowly but gone down to 35. I think Liverpool planned that for Marc Guehi because it puts pressure on Crystal Palace to sell. And I feel like with the Newcastle situation, with Isak, there's nothing Liverpool could have really done. Yeah, we could have probably put in 130 million, 100 million plus bid or whatever. But I feel like Liverpool didn't want to kind of piss off Newcastle with the negotiations sort of thing. and they kind of thought like, look, we'll have that level of respect for you. You bring whoever you want in, but we get Isak. I feel like that's what the plan was, to always to do it towards the late of the window, because then it puts pressure on Crystal Palace and Newcastle to sell their respective players to us. But yeah, I would have liked to maybe brought in maybe another player or two, but I feel like the club are planning for like a DM, for example, next year. Hence why we saw Adam Wharton links. I don't think that's going to be a deal that gets done this summer. It's a next summer thing.
Yeah, but that makes sense. But these are sort of players, and even with the DM, and then they arguably could say that we need it right now, because some of these games where Liverpool play, when people like sort of like Graham Birch, and because Graham Birch is not really a DM, do you know what I mean? And you look at McAllister's not really a DM, and obviously they're asked to do a job. Certain games of the day, I've seen teams that just run through that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, even like Semenyo the other day, a week or so, you know what I mean? You just literally ran through the midfield, and that was disturbing to see a guy. I know he's a good player now, but to see a guy and they run through midfield. We're either going to have the greatest deadline of all times or the most disappointing one. No in between. Yeah, I echo that, actually. I echo that.
It's going to be a mad one. It's going to be mad.
Yeah, we're going to have to. You have to get up in the morning and do a 7-hour stream. No, seriously. You're literally gonna have to stay by your laptop and everything that, right? And see what I go on.
I'm at work tomorrow for majority of the day. I've already told boss man, look, listen. Like,
piss off. I'm looking to work.
I need to. Sorry, but I need to look. I'm gonna get up. I get up for work early anyway, so I'll probably get up at like. I get up at like 5 o'clock and I leave my house about 8. So I might stream for a few hours tomorrow morning, and then when I get back, I'll do a stream, reacting to it all, and hope, fingers crossed. It's gonna be madness, man. I'm praying. Because I'm starting my. I'm starting at 12 o'clock. Where you gonna go right till 7 o'clock?
Yeah, I might have to,
You getting a suit and tie?
No, fuck off.
I was gonna do it, because I've got a suit in my wardrobe. If I had tomorrow off, I was gonna do a 24-hour deadline day stream, but couldn't get it off work.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Imagine doing suit and tie,
Yeah, all of us dressed up like Men in Black.
I'm telling you.
You need a yellow tie.
Yeah. What, Jim White sayings?
Yeah, you need a yellow tie. Official,
Yeah. No, because I made a bet with someone about 3 months ago. If we signed Isak, I'll do a 24-hour stream. So I've already penciled it in. I'll probably do it around, not next week, the week after, with the games being back after the international break. So I'll put myself through the 24-hour stream if we sign Isak in 2 weeks. But if not, I get to sleep.
Yeah, I think I might just like start at 12 o'clock, and yeah.
No, because if you do, I can always put an AirPod in when I'm at work, and just put my phone in my pocket. Hopefully, boss man ain't watching my stream right now. Because there's a few people from work that are subscribed to my channel, so
yeah, man. I'll go in the storeroom, innit? Do a quick stream in the storeroom.
I might have to just say, look, I need the toilet for the 50th time today. Can I mind it? Yeah.
Boss, I'm not feeling well. I've got to go home, mate. I've got stomachache. And your boss sees you on the stream. Hang on, man, you must be right off.
No, because I'm getting paid over 100 quid tomorrow, so it's
Sorry?
all right. Getting over 100 quid for tomorrow's shift.
That's all right.
So yeah, it'd be worth it. It will be worth it. But
yeah. So what do we think today then? The game today. What do you think?
I think we win 1-0. Canate header.
Do you think they're playing?
Yes.
See, I'm worried for Kanate today only because Gyökeres is quite physical, isn't he? He's a little bit of a different type of striker for him to deal with that he hasn't played against much. So he definitely needs to have a good game today against them.
Mm-hmm. You want us? You see, we need more players like Szoboszlai, man, just like physically fit, and can get about the pitch. You know what I mean? Because I don't think McAllister's going to be playing today. Do you?
Maybe.
Because you know what is it? There's conflicting sort of like conflicting rumors, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like they're saying it and they sort of like McAllister, the reason why he never played against Newcastle is because his missus was having a baby and that. And some people say no, it wasn't that, he was injured. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I don't know who to believe, man. You get me?
I think he'd be on the bench.
Yeah.
At least. I expect him to play some sort of minutes, because if he's not playing today, then like what's going on?
Yeah, we need to. You know what it is in the day, right? One guy said in the day that we should have a 4-man midfield. You know what I mean? It's like what Arsenal's going to try and do is like try and dominate the midfield, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know.
I think we're going to roll back the Man City performance at the Etihad.
I hope so.
It'd be that style of game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys think and what's your score predictions.
Yeah, I feel it might be a draw.
Thinking similar.
Do you? I feel it might be a draw.
I'm thinking similar to the last two games where we're following this trajectory of getting the late winners, and hopefully we follow suit and it's like a 3-2 game and Chiesa scores the winner or an Ekatike or someone like that.
Yeah.
I don't care as long as we get 3 points. Flipping Alisson can come up and score again and I won't care.
Yeah. I think they're dangerous set pieces, obviously, so you know, we're not great at them, they're good at them. That could be too obvious a thing, or else it could actually just be what they do. I think they're going to score at least once. So I think 3-1 or 3-2. But yeah, it's a strong side. That's a strong Arsenal side. They're very defensive. You know, they have a lot of defenders, defensive midfielders. They can be hard to break down. So I'm not expecting a big scoreline against them, but I think we'll have to score at least a couple to beat them.
Yeah. I think we need to stay compact. And obviously have as much possession as we can. You know what I mean? Because once they get possession, once they do get possession, they might be hard to get off them. You know what I mean? You know, and they will press us. They will press us in that, and that could work to our advantage in the day. Do you know what I mean? Because if we're able to sort of like, you know, beat their press, and I think it's all over for Arsenal. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes what I've noticed with Arsenal, once you beat their press, like what Jurgen Klopp used to do, once he beat their press, they never really at the end of the day had a plan B or anything like that. They just literally fell apart. Do you know what I mean? You know, but that's what they're doing. They're buying a world of defenders. You know what I mean? As I said, you know, Nkape is supposed to be going to over there now. You know what I mean? And that's sort of like, you know, he's going to be like a left back. Do you know what I mean? And who's he replacing then?
He'll just come in as depth because Although he could play left back.
He just signed Mosquera as well, haven't he?
You know, signed it before, didn't they? They signed it before.
Yeah, they signed him before.
Yeah, it's Mosquera from Valencia, isn't it? They signed it before.
Today.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it makes no sense getting Hincapi. They've got that many centre-back options.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's just, I don't know. I just think that they're trying to sort of like, not, you know what they're trying, you know what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do, they're trying to sort of like nick that goal from a set piece, for instance, from a set piece, nick a goal for a set piece, and then like put man behind the ball, like what they did at the day with what's we call it, Man United. Remember at the day, Man United could not break them down.
That's why we need to go 1-0 up.
Well, yeah, because it forces them to play then. If they come to Anfield and we go 1-0 up, yeah, right, it's gonna force them to play, and they're gonna start leaving gaps. You know what I mean? But if they get the first goal at the day, right, it could be a long day for us. That's what I'm saying. In that way, because what sort of like Arteta would do after a while, and he'll just bring on defenders on top of defenders on top of defenders. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and just literally at the day try and sit on that sort of like 1-0 lead, and then if we overcommit, they just sort of like catch us on a counter attack. That's why today we shouldn't hold too much of a high line. Do you know what I mean? You know, because what I've noticed in the day, we're getting caught out lately with that high line. Look at what happened in Newcastle the other day. You know what I mean? That was a high line, and we got caught out, didn't we? With Oslo.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I just think at the end of the day we need to be more compact. You know what I mean? Concentrate, because you know what I think. What it is with Kanate and it's lack of concentration. He's not concentrating like he used to. You know what I mean? I'm Black Kanate's biggest advocate in the name, but the last 2 games he's been trash. Literally being trashed, and I think trash. So I feel at the end of the day, so like what you do at the end of the day is just like concentrate, man, for fucking 90 minutes. Don't just concentrate for 1 half. Because you know what, isn't it? We can go 2 goals up in the first half, you know, bro. Yeah. Then second half and then we just fall to pieces. Like we usually do. Misplaced passes, you know what I mean? Not defending well and this and that. And that gives them a chance to get back in the game. Because I knew at the end of the other day when Newcastle, once they scored that goal, I knew that in the day they was going to score another one. And it might turn out to be a draw. And it nearly was. Not for the brilliance of Ngamoa. Do you know what I mean? So, yo, Arsenal at the end of the day are very encouraging with this. You know what I mean? They're very encouraging. You know what I mean? Right, I've got to go because I've got to do my stream in 5 minutes. So
yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is see what you lads want to wrap up on, and ask for your score predictions, and I'll send you the redirect.
All right then, brother. I'll speak to you in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to
see you later, Rods?
What's your score prediction, real quick?
2-1 Liverpool. 2-1 Liverpool. Yeah, I'm being bold. 2-1 Liverpool. I mean, all right.
But yeah, big up yourself and come on. Thank you for coming on the channel.
Yeah, no problem, man. You know me, man. I'm always available to come on the channel whenever you need me. You know what I mean? You understand? This is a community. This is a family that we got here. So, big up Brian, man. Big up Brian.
Take care.
Big up Sunny. And I'll speak to you guys very, very soon. Yeah, take care.
Yeah.
See you later, Rods, brother.
Take care, my guy. Yep, big up on Come On for coming on. What's your 2's final thoughts on the game and predictions before we wrap up? Because I've got to head out in about 15 minutes or so.
Perfect. Yeah, I'd say 3-2. Saka and Odegaard hasn't been brilliant, but we're not. I don't all of a sudden see us tightening up at the back. We've been pretty open, so we've conceded a lot of goals recently. But we haven't. We're unbeaten, and I can see he's probably having to do something similar. Ekitike to get another goal and a 3-2, and definitely some shaky moments at the back if they can start throwing in crosses, set pieces, corners, free kicks, if they can win them. I can see some nervous moments, and Ibu does need to be switched on. So yeah, I'll go with that though. 3-2 win.
3-2. What about you?
Ekitike to keep the scoring up.
Yes, come on. What about you, Sonny lad?
Very, very similar to Brian. I think it's going to be like our previous two games, because we're not good defensively, but we're outscoring teams. We're getting late winners, so I can see like a 3-2. Similar again. Ekitike, I think he's going to continue scoring. If I can see McAllister coming back into the fold, it's going to be a massive thing, because the last time McAllister and Gravenberch played together, like our whole midfield played together, like we're really good, and we haven't had that since Tottenham last year. So that's going to play pivotal in the game. I feel like no Saka and Odegaard's going to go against them at some stage in the game. And I'm hoping Wirt can get a goal and assist today as well and come out of the shell a little bit more. I feel like this is the game there where you'll see Wirt, because Arsenal play like pretty football sometimes, similar to us. So maybe this is the sort of game where you'll see Wirt come to light a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm going 1-0. I can't. I think it's going to be a cagey, edgy game, and I feel like we're going to nick it at the death again. And I don't know what it is. I've got a feeling Konate scores, you know. Like, after this terrible form, we've seen it before where players have had terrible forms.
Yeah.
I've just got this weird feeling about Konate scoring, and then I just think, like again with my analysis in terms of, I just think it's going to be a cagey game and we nick it 1-0. If I'm being honest, I think we should be able to deal with Gyökeres stylistically, physical, etc. So yeah, I think it's going to be intriguing to see if Eze starts for them, if he's going to start or not. Because obviously, I don't think he's played for them yet. No, because he didn't play last week against Leeds. No. So, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm going 1-0, 1-0, and I think Florian Wirtz scores. I'm going Wirtz or Konate. He's going to lead us to a 1-0 win. All out attack. Oh, I pray not. Nah, Max Dalman's a baller though. But yeah, appreciate you two guys coming on the channel.
Nice, man.
Thanks for making your debut, Irishman lads. So, do you want to shout your channel out, mate, and let the people know where they can find you and what content you do?
Yeah, just Anfield Irishman. We do live shows most nights. Might not do something today. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things, so I might just let the people go elsewhere for a day. But usually it's I'll be the first day. I haven't done a stream in a long time, so live streams every night, 7 o'clock usually thereabouts. So all are welcome. It's always an open call in. We're always looking for new people to call in. So anyone wants to do it, feel free, come on over.
Yep, 100%. Sonny, you got any updates on your channel?
Yeah, I'm in the process now of basically getting everything set up. I mean, I get paid next week, so I just need to decide whether I'm going to get a computer, a laptop, and then obviously I need to set my StreamYard up and stuff like that. And I'm always on Anfield Irishman as well, Brian's show every night, most nights.
Yeah, 100. I'll put your link in the comments, so people just click on the link and make sure you give Anfield Irishman subscribe. Get them to 1K subs ASAP, people. So yeah, appreciate you two coming on, man. I think Uncle, yeah, he's live, isn't he? So yeah, we'll send him over a redirect. See if he's has he set the stream up? I think he set the stream up. I don't think he's done it. No, Colin. Let's type him his name. There we go. Right. Yeah, big up yourselves, man. Thank you so much for coming on, and yeah, big up Sonny, mate. Every time. And yeah, enjoy the game. Big up the chat. Hit the likes on your way out. We're on 80 likes on the playback. Let's try and get to 100 likes. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. We're on that road to 3,000 subscribers, and we're literally 14 away from 2.3k. So we can try and potentially hit that today, if possible. If not, we'll try and hit it on deadline day. So yeah, big up the chat. Make sure you go and say footyreactstv rating Uncle's comments, and have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the game. Take care. Peace.